Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I will be giving you my round 21 NRL tips. Last week, it finally happened. I got a perfect round for the first time in 2023. 7 out of 7 games correct. It was very tough, very hard to tip certain teams last week, but we did it 7 out of 7. I couldn't be more prouder. Now let's hope we can get 8 out of 8 for the first time this year as well. Oh, it was a great round last week. Interesting game, so let down from one game, but round 20 was an excellent round. Now, with Origin out of the way now, we are in our final 7 rounds of the 2023 NRL season, and the finals is looking very shaped up. A couple teams could still make it, but I'll let guys know if they can still make it or not. But without further ado, let's get into the round 21 NRL tips. And the first game to start off round 21 of the 2023 NRL season is going to be a dreadful, boring and forgetful spoon bowl game for the wooden spoon, pretty much. On Thursday night, kicking off at 7:50 p.m. at Wollongong. In Wollongong at WIN Stadium, it is the St George Illawarra Dragons taking on the West Tigers. Now, last week the Dragons are coming off their third and final bye to finish off their 2023 byes campaign. Back in round 19, they lost to the Raiders, but they did come back, but they slightly lost, losing 36-26. And as for the Tigers, they lost 34-18 to the Newcastle Knights up in Newcastle last week and still remain in last place. Now, this is going to be the most boring game to watch in a long while since the Titans-Tigers game back in round 14 or round 15, whichever. I think it was round 15 this year. This game's very tough to tip, honestly, and it can go either way, but I don't really give a shit about this game. Now, in the past 10 games between these two, Tigers have won 6 of the past 10, which includes winning 3 of the past 5 fixtures, and they also beat the Dragons back in Magic Round earlier this year, winning 18 points to 16 to start off day 3 of Magic Round. And also, this will be the 7th time these two have played at WIN Stadium, with Tigers actually winning 4 of the 6 games they've played there. But Dragons have won the last game there back in last year, winning 12 points to 6. But for this game, it's really boring. But I'm going to back the Tigers, only just because they've got a better winning record at WIN Stadium against the Dragons. But honestly, and I also tipped the Dragons to come last. They've both been very awful. Now, I could see the Dragons winning this one, but it's really tough to call. I'm going to go Tigers to win by 6. Going to be a lousy game. I'm going 18-12. I'm just glad this will be the final worst game of 2023. Now, on to the Friday fixtures. The first one kicking off at 6 p.m. here in New South Wales, 8 p.m. over there in New Zealand. It is the New Zealand Warriors taking on the Canberra Raiders at Mount Smart Stadium. The Raiders are coming off their third and final bye. The week before that, they went on to beat the Dragons 36 points to 26, letting them almost come back. They haven't won a game 13 plus this year, and funny thing is, they sit in 4th place at the moment on a minus 55 points differential. The only team on a negative points differential in the top 8. That's ridiculous. Must be some kind of record the last time we're seeing a team on a minus points differential in the top 4. Anyway, and as for the Warriors, are coming off a win over the Sharks in yesterday's clash, winning 44 points to 12. Well, good on the Warriors. They have been very outstanding this year. Sean Johnson, just give him the Dally M medal already. I'll be surprised if he actually does win it. He's had an excellent year this year, Sean Johnson. Now, in the past 10 games between these two clubs, they have won 5 games apiece, but there has not been one game in the past 10 games between these two. There has not been 3 games in a row or more. There's been 2 games won in a row from the Raiders, but that's it. So it's been very competitive between between the last 10 games between these two clubs. Now, Warriors have already got a win over the Raiders. The Warriors demolished the Raiders in Canberra on Jared Croker's 300, winning 36-14. Unbelievable. And I see a similar thing happening this round as well. Now, for this game, I've got to back the Warriors. They've been outstanding after their last loss against their last loss at home against the Bunnies, and then beating the Sharks, who can't beat a top 8 team. I've got to go to Warriors. I'm going Warriors 13+. I'm going Warriors to win by 14. This could be a good game. It could be 1-12. No idea. I'm just having a feeling 13+ for some reason. I'm going to go Warriors 28-14 scoreline by 14. And the final game to wrap up Friday night, kicking off at 8 p.m. here in New South Wales. Could be a game of the round. It is my boys, the South Sydney Rabbitohs, taking on the Brisbane Broncos. We are on the road. We are at Sunshine Coast Stadium for, I believe this will be the 4th time we've played a home game there, not counting the many games we played there in 2021 as the comp moved up there. And this will be a great game. Broncos coming off a demolishing win over the Bulldogs, beating them 44 points to 24 at Belmore Sports Ground last week. And as for my boys, we are coming off our second bye, as we have one more bye later in the year. And the week before that, we lost to the Bulldogs. We almost came back to beat them without our origin stars. We played very well, but we just fell short. 36-32 back in round 19. Now, this will be the first time we've played the Broncos at Sunshine Coast Stadium. As for this fixture at Sunshine Coast Stadium, we've always taken the Warriors there, and we've beat them there in the 4 games we've played them there. But it's nice to take a different team there. But why the Broncos? We could have played them in Sydney, but obviously due to the Women's FIFA World Cup starting up this week as well, Rabbitohs are on the road to Sunshine Coast now. Round 23 they'll be in Perth, and then round 24 back in Cairns for the first time since 2018. Now the Bunnies will not be back in Sydney until round 27, which is ridiculous. But so there'll be no vlogs for a couple of weeks. But in the past 10 games between these clubs, where Bunnies have won 6 of the past 10, which includes winning 4 of the past 6. Now, we have met already earlier in the year. We flogged them 32 points to 6 at Suncorp Stadium. That was the week before Magic Round before I headed up. We won 32-6. Great win over the Broncos. Now, for this game, we will have Latrell, Mitchell, Jai Arrow, Jacob Host, and Campbell Graham, who just re-signed for another 3 seasons till the end of 2027. They will all be back from injury and suspension. And for the Broncos, they will have Reece Welch returning from suspension early than anticipated. It's bullshit, but whatever. And Payne Haas is still unknown. I think he could be back. I have no idea. Reynolds should be playing as well after he went off last week's game against the Dogs. But for this game, I'm going to back the boys. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it'll be a flogging. I'll be surprised if it is. I'll go to Bunnies to win by 8. I'm going to go scoreline 24-16. Now on to Super Saturday. The first one kicking off at 3 p.m. on the Gold Coast at Cbus Super Stadium. It is the Gold Coast Titans taking on the Sydney Roosters. Now, both of these teams are coming off losses. The Titans are coming off a 1-point loss after a field goal from the Eels. They lost 25-24, the Titans. And as for the Roosters, they completely lost it against the Storm, losing 30 points to 16. only just getting 2 tries in the final 5 minutes of the game. Tedesco didn't play. There's questions around the Roosters now. Now, as of now, both of these teams will not make the top 8. If you come back to me saying that one of these teams will make the top 8, and then I'm just being an idiot. But I believe both of these teams, Roosters are in 14th, they will not make the top 8 now, and Gold Coast are in 12th, I believe. Both of their finals campaigns, they will not make it this year now. That's official. And as much as I hate the Roosters, they deserve not to make it this year. There's all troubles at the club at the moment. Anyways, in the past 10 games between these two, Titans have been the bogey side to the Roosters. Roosters have won 9 straight out of the past 10 games. The last time the Titans won against the Roosters was back in 2016, where they won 26 points to 6, and that was also at Cbus Super Stadium as well. Now this one's another game that can go either way, and as for the charge for players, Captain Tino Falaso-Malawi, who is a major grub by the way, he's finally been charged after he had a dangerous tackle, a grade 1 shoulder charge. Grade 1 shoulder charge. Who was it against? No, it's not showing up. But he had a grade 1 shoulder charge. He will be suspended for 3 games, which is unreal. He's got 3 to 4 weeks. If he fights it, it'll be 4 weeks. But I'm just glad he's finally suspended. Now for this game, it can go either way. Like I said, it's another game I'm not going to bother watching, but because it's on the Gold Coast, I'll go Titans to win by 4, I guess. I'll go scoreline 18-14. It's going to be another dumpster of a game to watch. The next game to kick off at 5:30 p.m. at McDonald Jones Stadium, it is the Newcastle Knights taking on the Melbourne Storm. Melbourne Storm won against the Sydney Roosters at the SCG last week, winning 30 points to 16. And as for the Newcastle Knights, they put on a dominant win over the West Tigers in Newcastle last week, winning 34 points to 18 to start round 20 last week. Now, as much as that was a great win for the Knights, they're in a different territory this week as they take on the Melbourne Storm, who, as we're going to go through now, the Knights have lost their past 11 games straight against the Storm. A majority of the games have been decided by 13 plus or more in majority of those games. So, last time the Knights won was back in 2015 against the Storm, winning 20 points to 6. But the last time the Knights beat Melbourne in Newcastle was in 2014, where they won 32-30. Now you're wondering, didn't Knights win in 2015 against Melbourne? Yes, but that was in Melbourne. And I believe that's only 2 wins for the Knights at Amy Park. And that's an interesting stat, but we're not at Amy Park for this one. But for this game, as much as Newcastle, their season is on the line. Now, I haven't written them off yet, but I don't think the Knights will make the 8. Now, I will be shocked if the Knights do beat the Storm, and they still have a chance of making the 8. Their record now is 7 wins, 9 losses, 1 draw. So they could still make it, but I don't think they will now, considering they're in 10th now. The Knights are 3 points behind the Cowboys. So the top 8 is getting a lot further away from, or I should say top 9 now. It's getting further away from the rest of the comp. But for this game, I will go Melbourne to win. I think it will be 1-12. I think it's going to be another close game. I'm going to go Melbourne by 10. I'll go scoreline 30 points to 20. If Knights do win, they'll still be in the fight for the top 8. But I think, honestly, their finals, I think they will not reach the finals this year. And the final game to wrap up Super Saturday, kicking off at 7:35 p.m. up there in Townsville, Queensland Country Bank Stadium. It is the North Queensland Cowboys taking on the Parramatta Eels. Now, last night the Parramatta Eels went on to beat the Titans by 1 point, 25-24, but it came at a major cost. Eels prop Regan Campbell-Gillard is facing 4 to 5 weeks on the sideline after a dangerous contact. Both his knees in the back of Titans hooker Chris Randall. He's facing 4 to 5 weeks, which could put the Eels finals in jeopardy now. And also their try scorer, the highest try scorer I think it is at the moment, Sevo, is facing 3 to 4 weeks. Sevo was charged for a Grade 2 careless high tackle on Jojo Fafita. Faces three games, as it is his third and subsequent offence. So there are going to be 2 key players gone from the Eels squad. That's shocking. And as for the Cowboys, I was at the game at 4 Pines Park against the Sea Eagles. I think it was a great game, although it was a lot of errors in that one. Cowboys won 19 points to 8 against Manly in Brookvale back on Saturday night. I enjoyed the game first time going. As a neutral, I expected it to be a better game, but good win for the Cowboys. That makes it 5 in a row for the Cowboys now. They've been in great form now, and they're on the same points as the Eels and the Rabbitohs. But points differential wise, they're still in 9th place. Now, if the Eels or the Bunnies lose, if the Cowboys do win, Eels could fall out, and they'll be in the top 8. So, pretty much both their seasons are on the line in this game as well. Now, in the past 10 games between these two, it's been 5 games apiece, with Eels winning 4 of the past 5. Now, last time these two met, Eels did win 24-16, but last year in the preliminary final, controversy with a forward pass from Mitchell Moses, Eels won 24-20. And it was also at Queensland Country Bank Stadium as well. So this is the preliminary final revenge for the Cowboys. But for this game, I will go Cowboys 13+. I have no faith in the Eels now. After Gillard and Sevo are out for the next couple of weeks, they're going to be struggling. So I'll go Cowboys to win by 16. I'm going to go scoreline 32-16. Now on to Sunday ticket. The first one kicking off at 2 p.m. It is the Penrith Panthers taking on the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. What are the Bulldogs in now? Jeez. They're in 15th. They could still get the wooden spoon, but we'll wait and see. Bulldogs are coming off a very heartbreaking, disappointing loss against the Broncos. 44-24. They were in the first half. It was 18 or 22-18 at halftime, and then they just scored one more try after the second half, and they lost 44-24 at Belmore. Unbelievable. And as for the Panthers, managed to get the win over the Dolphins, 24 points to 14, 1-12, without their Origin stars too. Now Nathan Cleary didn't play last week, but he will be returning for the first time. I think it's round 15 the last time he played since he suffered that hamstring injury. But he's geared up and he's ready to put the Panthers in for another minor premiership this year, as we are on the race to the finals. But in the past 10 games between these two, Panthers have dominated the Dogs. Penrith have won 8 of the past 10, which includes winning 5 straight. The last time Bulldogs won was back in 2019, where they beat them 16 points to 8, and that was at CommBank. But, however, the last time the Bulldogs beat Penrith at Bluebet was back in 2016, where they won 18-16 against the Panthers. This game, it's easy. Penrith 13 plus, Penrith by 20. I'm going 30 points to 10 scoreline. Dogs are done. And the final game to wrap up round 21 of NRL 2021 tips. Kicking off at 4 PM at PointsBet Stadium in Cronulla. It is the Cronulla Sharks taking on the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles in the Battle of the Beaches rivalry. Manly, I saw them last week, lost to the Cowboys 19 points to 8. They were in the game, but they slid off towards halftime. And as for the Sharks, wow, can't beat a top 8 team, can they? Now, you can say they did beat the Cowboys earlier this year, but the Cowboys were not in the top 8 at that point, so it doesn't really count. But Manly's finals hopes, red pen through to Manly. Even if they do win this week, I don't think they will make it. They're in the same predicament as the Knights. But as for the Knights, they're in a better position than Manly at the moment. Now, in the past 10 games between these two, it has been 5 games apiece. But Cronulla have won 4 of the past 5 fixtures. Now, these two met earlier this year at 4 Points Park back in May, where Sharks won 20 points to 14. And last time Manly won at PointsBet Stadium was back in 2019, where they beat the Sharks 24 points to 14. For this game, this one's another tough one to tip as well, but because it's at PointsBet, I'll have to back the Sharks. Yes, I know I'm going to probably get a lot of comments saying, why are you tipping the Sharks? They were so disappointed last week. They're not playing a top 8 team this week, but I could be wrong. Who knows? If Manly wins, I'm not surprised, but if Manly do lose, though, they're trying to reach the finals. Done. But I don't think they'll make the top 8 anyway for the rest of the year. And I think Sharks could, along with the Eels, will battle out to see who will make the top 8. But we'll have to wait and see. Sharks to win by 6. I'm going to scoreline 22-16. And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my round 21 NRL tipping video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. We are on the way to the 2023 NRL Final Series. And also my custom series, I'll be talking about that at the end of this week as well, who I think will make it and who won't. So we've got 2 great top 8 clashes coming up this week, and a battle to see who will be in 8th place after the conclusion of this round between Eels and Cowboys, and a spoon bowl game to kick off round 21. Unbelievable. It should be an entertaining round regardless. Anyways, everyone, this will conclude the video. I will see you all in the next one.